What's up, gang? I'm gonna tell you a story, a true story, a very true story about my learning experience when it came to home networking. This is what I had to go through. So, I bought my house, and I got the cable guy over. The tap is on the other side of that fence. Right there. He hooks it up. And he comes into the house. Well, I have one of those old box style TVs. And at the time it was right there. Oh, so he's like, okay, we're going to have to do you a new home run. So I'm like, okay. He digs me in a brand new line from the tap to the house box. And this house box did not look as pretty as it does now. Then I have cleaned it up significantly. But he gets a new one in, and still snow. So he's like, okay, well, I'm going to have to run you a new line to the splitter. So he runs me a temporary line, puts it on the ground. I have this splitter right here. It's not here anymore because I ripped all that shit out, but it was right there. And one line fed in this bedroom, another line went around the house, fed the other bedroom, and there was two lines that went in the house. So he hooks that up. I got TV. So he's like, okay, I'm just gonna call it done, but don't worry, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna hook up that line, for you that's laying on the ground. So there's the house box. Instead of burying me a line going to that four-way splitter over there, well, let me backtrack, okay? Instead of doing it the right way and sending a line up into the soffit like that, no, he drills the line up against the wall all the way down. Now, this was before I had this screen room. All the way down to the splitter. So now I got this line draped all the way across my house. And I didn't really care, to be honest. I really didn't care. It worked great. I had great TV, and it worked. I was happy with it. I'm like, okay, man, that's cool, I had this bedroom here. There was a line coming in underneath that bed right there. It was punched through the wall. In my bedroom, there's a line right there. You can see. Right there. Which I also removed. Right here at the front door, there was a line down there at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that hole that was patched. And behind these bookcases, of course, there's no line there anymore because I pulled it out before I put these bookcases here. But behind these bookcases was the original plate for the house when it was built. It was the old RG59. Yeah, the old school stuff. Okay, gang, so I'm at the front door here, and that line that I was telling you about earlier that went from that splitter all the way in the back of the house actually came down this front door right here into a hole in the wall right there. I don't know how many of y'all have a actual cable line running down the front door of your house, but that's what I had here when I first moved in. Now, granted, I didn't think about it. I didn't really care. And I left it there for years. It was actually painted the color of the house, so it wasn't really visible, you know? But still, it sucked. So, I have cable. I had it here. For some reason, I don't know why, but I had it here. I had the TV here. Well, the original place for the TV when they built these houses was behind this bookcase here. Well, I didn't want it here anymore. I want it up against this wall. So I actually had a cable run along the floor to my cable box, stretched across the living room floor. I had that like that for a long time. I think I might have put a rug over it or something, which I never considered about this wire here. Also being cable. Well, I think around, I don't know, maybe 2013, I wanted to get the internet. So, the guys come and they plug the internet up right here. And I had my own router and it worked. It worked great. I had a little laptop and I used it. So I had that down here and I thought, you know what? I don't want it in the living room anymore. So I put it in this room right here. I ran a fucking extension cord, hooked up the RG6. I put it up in the closet right here. It was perfect, man. Out of sight, out of mind. You know, got the internet. It's working. One day, it stops working. So, I get the damn thing down, right? I'm just, I'm irritated, man. I'm like, what the hell? So I call that 1-800 number, the tech support. Little girl from the Philippines, man. She gives me the best piece of advice. I'm in here like this because I don't know any better. It was really hard for me to understand her, because she's, from the Philippines. You can't understand these women. But she kept saying, unplug your computer. And I'm like, look, I've done that already. I unplugged it and plugged it back in. Yeah, no shit. And she's like, no. Unplug the router from your modem. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm like losing my cool with this lady. I'm trying to help you unplug your router from your modem. I'm like, what the hell is that going to do? Okay, I unplugged the router from the modem. I'm like, okay, I unplugged it. And then she goes, plug your modem into your computer. I plugged the modem into the computer. And then she goes, check your internet settings. Make sure that it says wired connection. And I checked it. Boom. I have internet. It's working fine. So I'm like, oh, thank you so much. You just gave me a lesson here. My router is a piece of shit. So ended up just scrapping the internet. I got frustrated with it. I'm like, what the hell, man? I don't know how to use these routers. It's pissing me off. What do I got to do? Like, I'm not going to just sit on some wired computer. I just unplugged everything, closed the laptop, threw it in the closet, called the internet company, canceled it. they shut the internet off, and I was done with it. Now, I still had TV, right? But yeah, I had them shut the internet off. That was around, I don't know, 2013. Maybe 2012, 2013. So I'm like, okay, I got to give this a try here. I got to have the internet, A year goes by. I pull out the router and the computer out of the closet. I charge up the laptop. I call up the internet company. Now, of course, the internet's changed, right? We went to a different company. So now everything is running off of Spectrum. Well, back then it was Bright House. It had taken over the internet for the area. So Bright House comes back. This cool dude, this kid who's learning how to do cables, installs. They come in. They bring me a modem. I give them the router that I have, and plugs it in here. It works. I got the little laptop. I'm going on it. It's working. I got the internet. Pull up my emails. I'm like, oh, this is great, So they leave. And I'm like, okay. I don't want this stuff here. I don't want this stuff in the living room. It's like deja vu, okay? It's deja vu. So I bring it back in here and hook it up to that line, put it up in the closet, shelf, plug it in. It's working. It's working great. I'm like, fantastic, At this point, my little laptop dies. So I bought a bigger laptop, a full-size laptop. Still a piece of shit, but, now it's not a mini. It's like a I don't know, a full size. So it's working. It's working. Everything's working great. I got the internet, and I'm so happy. I'm out here in the yard. I'm digging out here. I think I was planting bushes. This was like 10 years ago. I don't remember. I was digging, and I thought that I might have hit a line or something. Because that night when I came back to relax, to watch some internet, I sit here and no internet. I'm like, oh, fuck. I must have cut a line. So I call them up, tell them I got no internet, I tell them I cut a line. I need them to come put me in a line. So the contractor, he comes out, and I'm like, hey, look, man, I was digging right here. I think I cut the line. Like, you sure? And I'm like, yeah, well, I don't know. Let me see. So I pull up the line, and no, I didn't cut it. And I'm like, oh, shit, you know what? Maybe I didn't cut it. And he's like, well, I seen out, that you ain't got no internet, so I can put you in a new line. And I'm like, no, wait a minute. So we go back inside, right? I'm like, let's go in here, man. So I'm like, you know what? Let me try something. I did like what that sweet lady from the Philippines told me to do. I'm like, you know what? It might be the router. Let me unplug this bastard. I unplugged the router, plugged the modem into my computer, and I had internet. And I'm like, damn it, man. It's this fucking router. This router is just a piece of shit. And he goes, contractor's like, well, you know, we offer Wi-Fi service. You know, it's only a few dollars more a month for our equipment. I'm like, that's what I need to do. So I'm like, let's do this. Just get me a barrel and cut me a line. Just so I have internet for the week. And we run the line here where my computer is. So now I can sit in my chair and I have the internet. The modem's here. So basically, cut me a long piece of RG6, and so I could put the modem right here and I connect the internet. So I had it, man. And maybe about a week later, I call it in for Wi-Fi, and he comes out, brings me a new router modem combo in here. Plugs it in, gets it all working, and it works great. It works great. So I'm like, okay, cool. All right. Well, the deal was, remember I talked about how I had that line that was running from that house box over the house and down. I'm like thinking about putting in this screen room, so I need to take that line off the wall. So I did. I pulled that line off the wall so that they could come and actually put in this back screened in room. Well, I told the guy that I wanted to get some new wiring, okay? I wanted to get some new wiring. I wanted to eliminate this wire that was coming through the front door. The first guy came out. He was a total dickhead. He's like, nah, it's too hot. I'm not getting up in the attic. I'm like, I get it, dude. You're not getting up in the attic. Why don't you do it first thing in the morning? Nah. I'm telling you, I'm not doing it. The only thing I'm going to do is I'll run a new line from the splitter. Remember the splitter that was in the back of the house? He was going to run a line up the soffit all the way around the side of the house, all the way to the front, down the front door, just like I didn't want him to do. So instead of arguing with the dumbass, I said, okay, yeah, go ahead. Check it out, right? Zip ties the new line to the old line. And it's fucking hilarious, right? Like the old line is up here, and he zip ties the new line to that old line and puts it in. And I'm like, oh, wow, man. That looks absolutely fantastic. You did such a great job. You know, here, let me give you a $10 tip because you worked so hard on that. So, after about a week, I called up. And I'm like, hey, look, man. It was a black dude. He's like, yeah, what's up, brother? I'm like, look, man. I'm the homeowner here. I'm not a renter. And I'm trying to get my cable situation straightened out here. Like, I got a wire running down my front door. The front door of my house, dude. I want to take that off, and I want to run a line up in the attic and do it properly. He's like, yeah, I see it. I'm right in front of your house right now. I can see it. Yeah, I'm going to send somebody out. We're going to get you taken care of. I'm like, great. So that concludes part 1.